Thank you.
Oh yeah, same here, guys. So we all know we've been listening to the CEO, especially the past couple of days. We've been listening, we've been receiving calls and messages and emails and all of those. Some people are getting impatient and all of this. So we saw the need for us to discuss loyalty. So Collins, do you just want to open up? Come just from anywhere. Let's discuss this, please.
So let's look at loyalty. What it means by loyalty. It's about devotion or sentiment or attachment to something, to a person or a group of people, or an object. So we're looking at on passive. Are we really loyal to on passive? If we look at the definition, attachment to something in good times or in bad times, because when you have that attachment, that personal feeling, you don't care the situation. You care about, I look up to this person. I believe in him. I trust in him. That is all. That's what matters. I don't really care what happened, because you don't want to be someone who says I'm loyal in good times and then in bad times you disappear. So you are not loyal to that person. But when you are loyal to something, you don't really care the situation. I will stick with this person. I believe in him. I trust that whatever he is thinking or doing is right. And, you believe with your whole heart. So nothing can really distract you. Whatever people say, you say, you know what? I believe because I really trust in him. And I know he will deliver. And that is the attachment I want to, we're looking at on passive. Why are we loyal to on passive? Do we really trust? Do we really believe? Do we really have that personal attachment to our CEO and what he is doing, at this point in time? Are we those people when, he didn't come out, we said, oh, no, forget about it. Go and request for your $97. Or are we those type of person we say, you know what? We don't really care. Whatever happened on passive today, we trust him. We know he did his best. And we can put our finger out and say, yes, we saw the process. Yeah, it was not in his own making. But whatever comes, we will still stick with him. Say, God forbid, on passive fail. And he said, I will come out with something else. I will still stick with him. I know I trust this person. That's the trust I have in Comfort. That's the trust I have in Charles, our brother here, Charles. I don't care what people will say, but I trust him. That's the trust. I know if he says something, that is the truth. And that's what is called loyalty. You are loyal to something, you stick with him till death. Until they prove you wrong. Let me put it that way.
No, that I think that's very true. That was a powerful opening. Let me hear what Bro is saying. I would like to join in this conversation too. But Bro, you go first, please.
Okay. I think Collins has covered it all. It's about trusting, something or somebody, right? To the point where it's like you're almost blind. It's blind trust.
Yes.
It's until the person proves you otherwise. And guess what? We are very blessed to have a CEO who is very loyal himself. Because I joined this company about 4.5 years ago almost. And tell you guys the truth, that guy has never contradicted himself even once.
Yes.
And imagine somebody who comes to a webinar for 6 to 8 hours, sometimes 9 hours, right? And he's just talking from the heart without taking notes, without any scripts. But he talks like this all the time for almost 5 years and has never contradicted himself. That is loyalty. He's always there. And now, guys, remember in OnPassive, we have the corporate side, and then we'll have the marketing arm, which includes the founders, right? And we're very blessed to have some very loyal founders, leaders, because most people are leaders. To tell you the truth, if you have a team, even if it's 2 or 3 in that team, you're a leader. That's the reality. And we'll have some very loyal leaders. Yeah, there are a few that, every now and then will say some things that we don't really care. And then at the corporate side, we have very loyal employees. As a matter of fact, I remember Ash once said, it is easier to have people with talent than to have people who are loyal. And he would rather have loyal people and train them, you see, than to get people who are so intelligent, but they are disloyal. You see that? So loyalty is key to the success of every business. And we are blessed to have that at all angles.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm just so, this is one of the things that I just like on Passive, because people really record stuff and keep. I know when I said this, it was about 3 years ago, kind of around that. When he said the same thing, he would rather get the man on the street and train them who is loyal to you than get over Sabi, like what we call in our back home in pigeons, somebody who knows it all and then it's not loyal to you. That's really important. But then I want to come to from another angle, or I just want to ask you a question, guys, everybody watching and who will watch later on, right? What brought you here? This has been a 5-year journey. What was that thing that made you to join? Has anything changed? No, nothing has changed. And if at all any change has taken place, it has just grown from top to top to new top to new top, like we all know. It's only changed for the good, for the best of our own interest, right? So I'm just happy that Brother Charles was mentioning a lot of stuff that I had in mind to say, about, Ash himself. He is very, very consistent. He is transparent. When he comes, I know Collins likes quoting him on this. There are times he comes today and tells us something, and then he comes back tomorrow and says, guys, I lied. Guys, I lied. I said this, but I actually wanted to say this, or it has turned out like that. So he is always coming back. He's very consistent. He comes back to explain. See, we meant this, but then it turned out like this. I liked what let me call him Dr. B. Williams. I'm talking about Michael Williams here. And yesterday he said something which I was like, he says, listen, there are times you say, Brother Charles, I am coming at 2 p.m. And then when I stand up, I'm just going down here, maybe I get a tire puncture. And then, something has happened, I need to change my tire, maybe getting there at 3 p.m., right? By the time I get over to the next crossroads, there is traffic congestion and I'm stuck there. Brother Charles, wait, the journey may extend to 6 p.m. It doesn't mean that anything has changed. It is just that the course, or there's just detours and stuff like that. But then everything is intact, everything is working as planned, and everything is just going. So, guys, would you agree with me that our CEO, he is reliable, he is dependable, he is trustworthy, he is transparent, and so the loyalty is there from all the angles like you all have listed? So I just open it again, bro. Let's just go on this. Collins, maybe you go first since you spoke the last time.
Yeah, I just want to agree with that, because when it comes to software development, it's unpredictable. What Michael Williams said was 100% true. It's unpredictable because, remember there was a time in the webinar I said something. I said, it's like when you want to build a house, you call somebody to look at the foundation, look at the land. He said, all right, I want you to estimate how long I will pay you for this, how long you take to build this foundation. The person said it will take 2 weeks. The person started digging the foundation, made a very big rock. And that rock, the person cannot dodge it. It's like, I've seen this real life in Limbe where they were digging a foundation and there was like very big, rock. And you need a machine to come and break it. The person cannot do otherwise. Come back to Brother Charles. That's your foundation. I told you it's 2 weeks. But you know what? I've made a big rock and there's nothing I can do. You need to add some money. I cannot dig. Brother Charles came and looked at it and said, you know what? It's true. It's not your fault. Now, the debt even extend because by the time you hire that machine to dig that rock, break it down, sometimes it's hard work. You go down, you meet what? A well. Another stream, water is flowing. What do? It extend and extend and extend. The cost and the plan have not changed. It's just because you've met obstacle, unforeseen circumstances that was not in the plan. And that's why in every software development, they have that unforeseen. So you give a data. What if this happened? What if? And these are the things that Mr. Ash will not ever come and tell us. But that is the obstacles you have on the way when you do, because you are building something that have never been done before, and you just estimate the time, and it's just an estimate. That's why they call it an estimate. It's not a tentative date and said, I will do it on this date, because you never know what will happen. I think my brother Charles here will agree with me. You cannot put a finger on the software and say, I will do it and it will come out right first time. Never in the history. Even Microsoft didn't do it. We never know their problems. Google, we don't know their problems. But every software, when they start from scratch, there is something that will block them. Tools, or maybe someone is sick, because you cannot determine if I'm well 100% for 1 year. Maybe I'll be off sick. I'll be on holiday. I need to holiday to at least spend time with my family. All those things are things that I take in consideration. What if I said I don't like the job and I quit? You have to bring somebody to come and train again, all the system for 3 months, 4 months before pick up. It takes time. And these are the things that our CEO will not tell us. But does it mean we don't have to be loyal? We have to be loyal because we see for the back office, we are seeing the changes going. And thank God that we have the expert doing all of this. As long as the back office is there and we see an update, our CEO come and tell us. No CEO even do that. The company, I've never seen my CEO. I know my manager and they can fire me without my CEO even knowing. So that's the truth. So I will leave it there with a chance to even add more on this.
I know. My sister Bridget just said something that I was thinking of too. You know, you don't only get loyal when it's moving right. If sometimes the two happens, like we have to switch and then take another course to get there, you remain steady and focus on that big vision because it's still there. Over to you, bro. Thank you.
I didn't even realize this topic is so big. And we can spend 3 hours talking about this. Colin just opened up another kind of worms in my head. You know what I mean? So it is true that you can see unforeseen circumstances. I used to work with a company. In fact, that was my first job ever in the technology world, I want to say. So, and it was a space imaging, we call it space imaging. We used to send satellites to launch. And I was, my first job out of college, I was a Unix administrator. And, you know, we were trying to launch a satellite. Do you guys know that we postponed it 15 times? Like people will come, like, okay, we're launching on this date, and that day will reach, and for some reason, things don't look right. There's also that nervousness, right? Postpone it, go look at it again, and make a big announcement. People will fly all over the place. Postpone it again. That is part of software development for you guys, okay? Now, in addition to that, for us in OnPassive, the project has just increased. Now we are self-sufficient. Now, when we first came in, we were just supposed to provide traffic, right, to any company that is willing to get our traffic. Well, guess what? Now, we are those companies that we are providing traffic to. AI-driven. Everything has expanded. It's like, I want to compare it in addition to what Michael Williams has said, you know, wrote Ditto and all that stuff. But look at it now, instead of a 1 meal, we have a 5-course meal or 10-course meal. Why not a 50-course meal? You know what I mean? So, but you see the progress. And I don't want anybody to panic. It's not like Ash is saying we're going to have everything before we launch. No, he's not saying that. He has finally agreed that we're going to go with O-Connect first. Not so. And then O-Tracker. So we're going to go strategically step by step. But we just want to make sure, remember, first impression is lasting impression. We want to make sure when we hit it right. And then everything else is going to fall in place. You don't want to be loyal. There's nothing else out there. I always say, I've done so many things, online, offline, like it's easier to count the ones that I've not done, right? And when you compare to OnPassive, night and day. It's the only reason. Ever since I joined, I decided I'm not even looking at anything. You guys remember my rules, right? It's easy. It takes me 1 minute to know that I can do it. So please stay focused, stay loyal, because all you're going to do, waste your time, lose your money, and then come back crying. Make matters worse. And we are almost there, right? We're counting days, as a matter of fact.
Exactly.
When I say days, it can be 10 days, it can be 20.
It can be 300 days.
It can be 90, right? But it's days, literally.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.